Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU and welcome back to Endless Legend. Now, a question that I ask myself that you already know the answer to is this video going to be very long and the final part of the series, or is it going to be kinda short and definitely not the final part of the series? I didn't know. However, as it stands right now, I'm really busy. But at the same time I want to record, and I will not be able to finish this videocast if it's close to the end, because then there will be no point in making the last video if we are very close to the end right now. So, you know, we've seen this situation before in this playthrough. I thought I was about to win, I apparently did not. I mean, we can all see that I did not, so we'll see how it goes. Either way, I was supposed to mention something important. I hate it when it happens, because then I forget what it is, so let's just get right into the game, and maybe, just maybe, I'll remember what I wanted to say. I don't think it was too important. Anyway, let's move all of our units. Now, there are several armies on the map right now, and as you can see, they are all moving in general directions of somewhere. And I think there is certainly a possibility I might be able to win this game. It all depends from the Broken Lords, how well they are defending their cities and how well they are not. Or how well they're not doing this at all. And it also depends if necrophages have more than one city or not. AI expanding, yeah, it is a problem that has actually... I'm not sure if I should be saying that, but I guess I could mention that maybe, just maybe, I'm not clear, I'm not confirming anything, but yeah, it might be the case that AI is possibly, who knows, a little bit smarter when it comes to expanding or re-expanding in the upcoming patch. Maybe, who knows. Yeah, alright, I was really careful right there. Either way, what do I want to do with my main army? By main army, I mean the army that my hero is in. I want to move it back into my city, and I want to move my hero to a different army, like for example this one. There is a very simple reason for this. My hero being stuck with an army with just 3 marines, and really good enough, even if this army would have been good enough to actually kill the Undead, which was possibly the case, but there was no guarantee, and that it depends how quickly my marines would have been able to kill them, because Undead are really slow, that's true, but it's a risk I was not willing to take. I'll instead just sit with my units in Old Capital and defend there if at all necessary, and this will be my main army from now on. Its Rumbler is kinda weak, it doesn't have a lot of meat, but it can still hold its ground relatively well, I would say. I can retrofit it for not too much gold, and in fact I will, just because of how much gold I am gaining per turn, so let's just go ahead and retrofit it, just so all units are as good as it possibly gets. Old Capital as well, Barrow Streets are nice, but what I would much rather get is... Hey, I keep misclicking, I hate it. What I would much rather get is actually some more units to accompany those marines and help them defend the city. Like for example a Rambler would definitely do the trick after the central market is finished, of course. After I do that, I'm pretty certain, I did check that all other cities have their build orders ready. Let's just quickly check in with the technology. Now, what do I want to do? I'm hoping I'll be able to reach Era 4 before we end the series, but it might not happen. It all depends again from the Broken Lords and how well will they defend. What I can, however, do is grab some more decks from Era 3, which is certainly something that I want to do. So let's have a quick think about what we could need. Science stockpile is something I usually really like, because they are, in all honesty, a really good way to make a lot of science, but it's not necessarily what I need, and it will not be as effective as just going for Alchemy Workshop, which I'm kinda leaning towards getting right now. What I might get before that, however, is extra luxuries, and that's exactly what I'm going to queue up, just because some of those luxuries, they help me in a very substantial manner. Just the bones themselves, they give me a lot of extra industry, which is nice. Or other things that also give me other bonuses, whatever. Which, you know, it's not bad. Then I'll go for Alchemy Workshop, then I'll still be a few techs short of Era 4, but I guess I would pick something when I feel like I know what I want right now. I certainly know for a fact I don't want endless recycling, because I said it before and I'll say it again, it's a rubbish tech that takes a lot of resources to create this kind of upgrade, improvement in your city, and the benefits are pretty poor compared to everything else. So let's just end the stand right away, and actually let me drink a sip of a drink that I have with me. Do you hear that? You might not be able to. It's actually ice cubes. Yeah, it's homemade iced tea. Really nice, really nice. Of course, no sugar. Everybody who puts sugar in their tea is, in my eyes, a heretic. No offense if you are a heretic, but honestly you are. Tea, sugar, nah, I cannot imagine it. Tea has to be strong, unless it's green tea or white tea, then it doesn't really have to be strong. But still, you wouldn't put sugar in that, would you? At least I cannot imagine a situation where tea like this would actually taste well. Maybe we're different in this way, it's very much so a possibility. And you know, it's fine, it's really cool. People have different opinions, and that's the beautiful thing about people in general. But seriously, why would you run tea with sugar? No. That's something I will never understand. Either way, my city is under siege. It does have some marines inside of it. And now buy out a Rambler. A Rambler and 3 marines should be good enough to actually defend the city quite well, I would say. Now, annoyingly enough, our capital is actually unhappy. Now, how did that happen? I'm not so sure. Is it meant to be unhappy? Well, yes, it is. I guess this is because it is actually being besieged. That would actually make sense. And actually, I remembered, OMG. Now, I think it was it Ripper? I think it was Ripper, I'm not too sure actually. Who pointed out to me that a very long time ago, several videos ago in fact, one of my cities was attacked and taken over by AI. Which is, you know, something that happened quite a lot during those series, so it's not a big deal, right? Yeah, except I had a hero in there that got unassigned and I never ever reassigned him. Indeed, if we go into the academy screen, this hero has never done anything for me. Ever. And this is in fact the hero that was supposed to lead my army. And I was really confused if you were able to tell me in the last few videos when I was like, hang on a minute, how did this hero end up being my main assault hero when I was wanting this hero to be my governor? Yeah, I mixed those heroes up completely. And this hero has no skills to be a governor of an execution. This is my attack hero. And annoyingly enough, I just remembered this after I assigned this hero, this other hero, secondary hero to this army. So there's no point in assigning this hero to that army because then I would waste the potential of the hero I already assigned. But then again, from the other perspective, this hero is better commander. There's no doubt about that. She has staggered blows level 2, which by itself is fairly good. She has no other hands. In general, it's a very nice combo. All she needs right now is just to gain some extra trinkets. So, extra bonus to critical on army? Why not? Let's go for that. A better bow? Yeah, sure, let's go for a paladin bow. Why not? It's also going to work quite well. Do I want to go for any armor? Certainly not. And that's it. Let's apply the changes. I have the resources to make it happen. And in fact, I'm going to unassign the hero that I just assigned to this army. Which I actually cannot do because I cannot unassign this hero just yet. I forgot, it has been so quick. Either way, it is something that I'll do relatively soon-ish. I have another 6 army? Yes, I do have another army with 6 creatures inside of it. That's good. I'll let it make its way towards Old Capital, but I'm pretty sure that my units inside Old Capital are good on their own enough to actually clear out those undead. So let's continue moving with the armies that have the orders to actually continue moving. Whereas my main army, well, it is suddenly, slowly but surely closing in on the enemy city. And actually, I'm kinda glad I put this here in this army. You know what? You wanna know why? Because just on the off chance the enemy does have the strength, the force is strong enough to actually repel my attack, which is a possibility, mind you. And in the event that this is the thing, this is the case, the event, and I lose my hero because I lose the battle convincingly, then it's fine, because my main battle hero will actually still be alive and ready to lead my second charge of my second main army, which is over here. And from a distance, this Titan actually looks kind of cool because it looks like he's holding some kind of magical orb from far away distance. But when you zoom in and you're like, oh no, he's not cool at all. But it's nice to see that he is there regardless. Alrighty then, I think I can end it then. It's fairly unlikely that there's anything to do. I should change the production of our capital because right now it is doing nothing whatsoever. And in fact, it's focusing on industry as well, which is even worse. So what I will do is make it work on dust. Actually, no, let's continue focusing on industry, just because it is my forward base. This is where I want to be making my units. So make more marines. I noticed that I have not as much of them as I would like to. And let's see how well this army I have right here can fare against the enemy that is trying to kill me. So let's go ahead, march in and meet them, and that's quite a few undead, but my marines are kinda adept at killing them. I'm not convinced that going for auto battle would yield satisfying results, however. AI might think that it has the upper hand. It does not take into consideration how slow the undead are, unfortunately. Alrighty then, let's think. How do I want to deploy my units? I certainly want them to be as spread out as possible, but I also want to use the choke point possibility as well. And this place here looks like a nice decent choke point, so I want to try and hug this area-ish. But not with too many marines, otherwise it would be just too risky. So I'll move those marines like so. Now, annoyingly enough, I cannot stand on the wall Apparently I can. Alright, never mind. And I'm not saying a thing. Now, what about my meat? My meat is going to be put safely away, and I'll only move this guy in if I feel like I need to distract the enemy undead from attacking my marines. Otherwise, I might be in a little bit of a pickle. In fact, you know what I might do? I might start with my marines being a little bit closer to the undead, and then attack. It all actually depends from the initiative. But if I move my marines like so, they might be able to attack and then back away. Let's do it this way, and we'll see what results we can get in. Man, I miss this bar not being on the deployment screen. It is already... I shouldn't talk too much about the upcoming patch. Alright, I'll not say anything more. It is awesome. It has some problems, but it is for the most part awesome. Alright, then. How am I going to do this? Well, my marines are probably going to shoot after and leave at the same time if at all possible, so let's make this happen. I do want them to back away quite substantially and make sure that they're not touching each other, which sounds kind of dirty, but whatever. As for engaging those and dead with my Rumbler, no, I would rather not. I'll wait for 2 turns. There's no way Ender can close in enough to actually attack my Rumbler if he's on holding position, hold ground position. You know what I mean. So that's fine, and yeah, that was just a waste of my time. My initiative was too good, so it was impossible for me to fire. But it was, you know, in case my initiative was not good enough, it was a good, you know, test to make by putting my units a little bit closer to the end. It's not like I lost anything or anything of the sort, anyway. Alrighty then, since the enemy is going to take forever moving around, I'm just going to go ahead and take another sip of my iced tea, if you don't mind. It is a good one. It is sometimes a little bit tricky to make iced tea, and in my eyes, good iced tea definitely needs to have some fresh herbs with it as well. At the very least, it needs mint, most of the times, because mint with iced tea, oh, well, that mixes well together. You can also put in other things as well, if you feel like it. It's kinda funny in my eyes, because with iced tea, I usually dare to experiment in ways that I dare not to, you know, to risk trying with normal tea. I mean, it's like, with iced tea, I allow myself to go a little bit further than what I consider standard or original for regular hot tea. When I'm very picky about how the tea is being made and whatnot, I wouldn't say British in that regard, because British do like their milk with their tea for whatever reason. Stupid bastards. Sorry if I offended you. I think I may have offended like 1/5 of my viewers, but whatever. Either way, that is a little bit strange, and I will never understand it. I've seen it many times, and no, just why? Why would you? But with iced tea, I do some random stuff, and usually the result is kind of fine. You can get away with a lot of things that you do with iced tea that you normally would not be able to get away with, in my eyes at the very least. I like this position. Let's keep it right now. I'll take some damage, unfortunately. It is unavoidable for my marines, but they'll still be able to dish out quite a nice amount of damage. What I hope for the most is that my Rumbler gets a nice swipe going, that he attacks at least more than 1 unit. And indeed, he will attack 2 units, which is, I guess, something at the very least. And he will slow down the enemy as well, which is good. Alrighty then. Now, since I am talking a bit of off-topic stuff, and I think it's fun because... Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage. And I think it's fun because this battle, you know, it's not like I have too much to comment on. You know the general principle and the tactics I use. I don't need to explain them to you again, like I did so many times before. So I can take a bit of off-topic during the battles. I think it's fine. So the reason why I'm drinking this iced tea, aside from the fact that it's delicious and that I need to moisturize my throat, but indeed that is actually the reason. I need to moisturize my throat even more so than usual, because of my allergies. Unfortunately, allergies have this nasty tendency of making throat sore and whatnot, and it's kind of, you know, kind of painful and whatnot. So drinking iced tea, it helps it out a lot. Juice would probably work a little bit better, but I already had this iced tea prepared, so I was like, yeah, I might as well drink it while talking. It doesn't moisturize your throat quite as well as juice does, but it's close. It's close, certainly. Alrighty then, now my units have been reached by the enemy and dead, but other than that I'm doing kind of fine. What I'm going to do is actually move those marines forward a little bit so they can get a better angle, and move those marines far away so that they cannot be attacked by the enemy and dead and chain lining to death. Let's launch the submission, and then finally moving those marines inside, in between all of those ended, because they will be attacked anyway this turn. And this way I give myself a little bit more space to maneuver around, which I like a lot. Either way, the battle is obviously won. I expected nothing less, and that's why I couldn't afford to go for auto battle, because I bet AI would have thought that I am going to lose this battle, when in fact this is obviously not the case. I did take some damage, I'm not gonna lie, but those are just my defending units. That's why they are here to defend me from the enemy armies, while my main armies are marching towards the enemy. That's the purpose, and they are fulfilling it quite well, I would say, thus far. So everything is good, the enemy has died, and I can safely proceed with the rest of my gameplay. Alright then, now let us first things first deal with everything else we have to do in this particular turn. Some of my units leveled up, that's very nice. You go back into a city, because inside the city, like I said many times before, you do heal up a little bit faster. And amusingly enough, I no longer need Marines in my build order, because this is the least of my worries right now. What I need way more is actually to have some more battle units, and in particular I would say Ramblers are what I want and need, because this meat is very, very nice, delicious meat. They also look cool. Now, I will however focus on making the finishing up this Barrow Street, because as I said before, I do want you to see a level 2 Barrow Street. Just because it is something you can see, and I would like you to. Alright then, I want to discover what is inside of this ruin, but it's not worth it. And actually, I did not even notice that there's a cliffside over here, so I guess I will walk over here. Now, there is a good reason why I'm doing this, and then the fact that I simply want to see what is inside this ruins, and that's because there are those guys nearby. And those Necrodrones, yeah, I don't trust them. I don't want to lose my strength fighting those Necrodrones, well, and I want to attack the enemy instead. Kill 2 armies, get a bunch of dust for it. Not the best reward, but it's fairly good regardless. Alright. Unfortunately, this army is also blocking my path, so I really hope it goes away. I really, really do. Because I need to be on one of those 3 tiles if I want to besiege and assault this city. Speaking of this, no. I almost spoiled another thing that is coming in the upcoming change. There are some really cool things about the upcoming patch for Endless Legend, I can guarantee this to you. And I'm not even mentioning or talking about multiplayer at all, because that's not something I'm not sure. I mean, it was a little bit strange the way the devs phrased it. I'm not sure if multiplayer is going to be... If the next major update for Endless Legend will have multiplayer, or if they just mentioned that they are testing things out and that they're not comfortable putting multiplayer in just yet. I have no idea myself, honestly, and I am a VIP, so do not expect a multiplayer. It might be there, it might not, I have no clue myself. I'm just stressing out that I do not indeed have any clue. Alright, cool city, you are cool now, but you do not suddenly need to keep working on units. I'd much rather continue working on dust instead. I mean, working with sands would indeed allow me to get to next era probably before the end of the series, which would be a nice indeed. And I might actually do that. You know what, why not? Let's focus on science in Cool City. And what else do I want to do? Let's make some steel houses. Why not? It's bonus food for nothing. I mean, it does cost me industry, but it's not like I was trying to make anything else in the city. And unknowingly enough, the enemy did successfully block me, and I cannot actually attack the city. Oh wait, it's still the same turn. Oops, alright then, never mind. We'll see if this army moves. I certainly hope it does. If it doesn't, maybe I'll have enough movement points to actually still go past it. I do have 5 movement points. And the enemy moved away, so either way it's all fine and dandy. So let's actually move and stand. This is a low ground, isn't it? Alright, let's move over here so I can potentially have high ground advantage. I'm surrounded by a ton of armies, but let's see if I can take the city before I lose my army, which I will lose. There's no doubt about that. I mean, first things first, that's a lot of undead. I'll probably win this fight. Even if I were to go for... Well, in auto battle I wouldn't win this fight, but in manual I think I will. However, I'm definitely going to lose this army no matter what. There are 600 drones and I've seen a lot of undead moving towards this area right there. So I will lose this army, no doubt about that. I just want to do as much damage as possible and possibly maybe even take over the city before I truly die. So hold the position, manual battle. And yeah, I'll do the same trick I tried to do last time. And the game? Did you? Alright, it took a while. Now there's a lot of neutral units nearby, so this will kind of make the screen confusing, especially since there's a neutral rambler on the battlefield as well. But it will be fine. Now the enemy does have very nice high ground advantage. I will try to mitigate this, but I didn't pick the best of locations to fight. I could have waited and hoped that the enemy armies would go away, but time is essential for me right now, I believe. So let us instead try to mitigate the damage that I'll certainly take. Now, here I'm fine moving my Rambler in close, because I will not have a lot of room to maneuver. And as such, I am okay with moving my Rambler in close. And besides, over here, I'll move him as soon as it's his turn to this tower. And he'll do so much damage, it will be ungodly in fact. And I'll like it a lot. Now, next people to move in are the Undead. They'll probably get a really nice chain lightning, especially the ones over here. And I want this to be the case indeed. And let's move those guys over here as well. I'm pretty sure that those two guys are not connected because there's a cliff in the way. But because the game is in alpha, it might still connect the chain lightning. So I'm taking a bit of a risk over there. But it's not a very big deal, in my honest opinion. Now, I'll put my marines on this tile for the time being, and I'll move them over to this tile. So they're a little bit safer. They'll not get the best angle to fire the enemy, but they'll be a little bit protected as well. My hero, I'm fine with moving my hero over to this tile. And as I move my ender to like this position, I'll move my hero. You know what? I will not be able to tell my hero to actually move to this tile where the ended are. So this might not be the best idea. What I might do instead is move my hero over here, but if my ended will not move in the proper way, then the enemy will be able to train lightning to my hero, which I don't want to happen, so I guess I'll move over here. It's not a bad spot. And those marines will stay in the back. Now, the enemy seller does have the first action, but the sellers tend to stay on the back for obvious reasons. And then I do sadly want them to actually go ahead and keep attacking as often as possible. You also focus on attacking and focus on attacking this guy. You will be able to get an attack off immediately, which I do like a lot. You attack this guy. That's all nice. And that in fact, I want you to move and not attack. He'll attack this guy anyway because it's his only target, but I'll also make sure that this guy, you know, moves in the right direction, whereas if I didn't tell him to move here, he may have done something really stupid like move over there or something. So just make sure that this doesn't happen. You stay where you are. I'm liking your position. I'll tell you to attack, but I'll also tell you to attack like so. Rumbler, move to this position, and also you can focus on attacking. Let's change his orders around so I make sure that he does execute them. Those two guys are in chain lightning potential. They might be chain lightning to death, but because I have those marines over here that will in fact attack those ended right here probably, I'm more or less fine with this. My hero can stand there and those marines can... I guess it would be okay to try and move them over here. It's unlikely that the enemy will be able to get to my hero, now that I think about it. Alright then, let's launch the battle and see how well it goes. There's a lot of stuff going on the screen, and the UI is actually, for a change, kind of abstracting things, which is like something that never happens in updated games. So this is just a testimony as to how many there are, and OMG, that is major damage. Single hit kill on 2, and that's very nice. And now a lot of chain landings are going to go off for me. And OMG! Oh yeah, I won. Initiative for the win. Look at that. 2 hits. And the battle is won. Oh, I think I will have to record a full feature-length episode. Because right now, after this battle, the amount of damage I dealt with just 2 hits. This is why I said that the undead counter undead. You get the 1 good chain lightning, you are in a great spot. You get a 2nd chain lightning that's really good as well, and you suddenly win the game. That's exactly what happened. There's no other way to phrase it. I won the game right here. Unless the Necrophagus has some kind of crazy army, and unless the Brocolos also have some kind of crazy army hidden over here, I won the game with those 2 strikes. No doubt about that. This is significant damage I was able to do right there. In fact, I can just not care anymore about any of my units, just make them go into aggressive stance and let them go to town. No matter what happens, I will be in a splendid situation. There's no doubt about that in my mind. You attack this guy, just go ahead and kill everything. This is significant. And actually a little bit annoying, because I was honestly planning to end the video guys right here so I could easily go back to the work that I really desperately need to do today. But since we are in this kind of climaxy moment, it would be really evil of me to do such a thing. So now, let's go for full feature-length episode uploaded by today and let you enjoy it. Rub it in your face. Ew, that sounds wrong. But you know what's the deal. Now, what I'll do after the series ends, because it feels like it has been going on for so long, and indeed it has. Now, I didn't want to start a new full feature-length series because of crying out loud. Those are really nice tasty chocolates that were sent to me from Finland, in fact. That's quite far away. So, oh, come on. It broke. I mean, this is also a really nice box that I had with those chocolates. Yeah, it broke. It doesn't matter because the chocolates are in their own little tiny, how they call it, papers and things. But the box was like the nicest thing about it, and now it's... How did I even knock that off? I have no idea. Wait, I haven't won yet? How did that happen? Oh, it just launched. That's fine. Either way, yeah. What was I talking before? I knocked my chocolates on the floor? I have no clue. Oh yeah. There's no point in me starting another long series, like for example the Necrophage series, because obviously the major patch for Endless Legend, it will arrive for everybody relatively shortly. I mean, the dev said 2 to 4 weeks. And probably even earlier if they decide to do this public test batch, which basically will allow everybody who's balls enough to test a more unstable build of the game with more features in it. And by then, I'll certainly start putting out videos, if not earlier, it depends if the devs let me or not. So, obviously, I'll put out a video about other mages, there's no doubt about that, especially since they are really cool. But, before that happens, what are my plans, you may be asking? Let me answer that in a few more minutes, just to, you know, be suspenseful and whatnot. And wait a second, I did not win this siege? I thought I did. Apparently no, there's one ended left. Alright. Auto battle, killed. Now the city is mine, that was quick. Alright then. Alright, city is mine. I can't unfortunately hide inside of it, but that's okay, I guess. Let's see how good it is. Barely any population. It's to be expected, in all honesty. In fact, I'm going to lose population unless I do something about it. So, can I possibly... Yeah, if I have one person working on food, then this will be good enough. I guess focus on dust, why not? I mean, it could focus on industry and start trying to make a unit in here. Why not? Buy out the steel storage, I could do that as well. But what I could do as well, which would be better, buy out Undead, because apparently they're good. They certainly did well for me this battle, and if they continue paying off like they did, OMG, this would be sick. Alright, you hide in the city. Odd capital is still exposed despite the major victory I achieved on the west, but I still need to be relatively careful. Radauta, dear friend, as well. What I want to do with you, you're no longer, this city is no longer on the forefront of, it's no longer where the action is. I don't think I need it to work industry, there's no reason for this to happen. I'll just make it a mass dust for me, just so I can make some more units. I know I'm not really being very consequential. I mean, I have one city focus on industry, I mean science, one city focus on dust, not really the best thing. I'm not balancing this thing at all, but since I smell victory in the air, I feel like I can afford to do that. I'm not even checking up on what my empire is doing. I trust everything is going splendid. Alright, hero leveled up. Well, no wonder after this battle. And since this is going to be my governor, I'll give him, it's a he for crying out loud. I'll give him natural resources. Because, yeah, you're going to become governor again. Come on, allies, already Rumbler? Yeah, you're just going to die, thank you very much. Dead. That was easy. It looks like necrophages are indeed not going to attack my army, which is for the best for them, in fact, because they will die if I were to do so. And in fact, I will do so, but only after I assign a new hero that is going to work very well for me. Right here, right now. That is nice. Now, as for the hero that I just unassigned, I'll send this this hero to govern this city. Now, the reason why this is, it is my forward base, and I apparently did lose a population right there. Interesting. It is my forward base. And with it, I will be able to make a bunch of things happen relatively easily, if at the very least I have at least a little bit of production, which right now the city does not have. It certainly is starving in this production, but I can make it better, especially if I make it grow a little bit faster as well, which I can achieve by... Winter Shadows would be good, especially since it has not a lot of food, but I think what it needs more is probably the settle market, because actually it's content, maybe not. Let's go for this deep generator, why not? Let's rush it as well. And then go for the... are there any rivers? I do not see them now. So if there are no rivers, I'll go for Plow Factory instead. Get that before and then and buy it out with dust. That I'll probably, in fact, most definitely get. I could use titanium to teleport my units to where the action is, which is actually a very tempting idea. So if I need to have more than just tools to back up armies, then I'll do just that. Alright, you just continue moving in this general direction. And let's see how this battle goes. But before I do anything with the sword, I did gain some better armor, which I'll definitely need on my units, because they could... I could use them dying a little bit less easily. So I'll get a choice of fancy armor made of adamantium or made of palladium. So adamantium armor is just a flat out bonus to defense, whereas palladium, its defense and offense are at the same time. Now, those guys, Ramblers, they are my tanks, so I want them to have as much defense as possible, so you guys, you get the adamantium armor. So there's that, there's that, there's that, it's a lot of adamantium, and they will do me quite well. They will be able to take a lot of damage, and probably tank a lot of damage as well. Which is just me repeating the same phase twice in a row, but whatever. Meanwhile, my Undead, they could use some more armor, so I will give it to them. But at the same time, they could also use some more damage to be even more ridiculous. So I'll give them Paladin armor instead. So they're a very Paladin heavy unit now, but first of all, things first, this armor really looks cool, especially on those guys if, you know, it did update the model, which right now it doesn't, but it would look probably really damper on them. And secondly, yeah, it's a fairly good strategy to take right now. So let's do that, let us attack the enemy. I think the enemy has no chance, even the auto battle would be probably in my favor. And since I'm about to possibly win this video cast, but I cannot make it go for too long, I'm going to auto battle and see how many casualties I take. And it's quite low on health, not ideal, but it's still fine-ish. So let's have my unit, my army continue moving towards the final Broken Lord's destination. And then, actually I could see if I can kill the Necrophagers first. The city is right there, I might as well try and take it. We'll see if it's possible. Maybe, just maybe it is. OMG, if I were to end this video guys right here, this would be exciting in my eyes. So, I need to run. Very nice. Alright. Happiness I do need, but I feel like being a warmonger, so I do want to have the attack on Empire. And yeah, let's do just that. Can I get anything else that would support my army? No, and I cannot go for both of the things at once. I'm just short in terms of influence, annoyingly enough. Whatever, I'll just save my influence, which is really strange. Usually, as voters, you always want the plus 20% to science. And in fact, you know what, just on the off chance we might get to Era 4, I'll keep that. Because, you know, being silly is nice, but what's the point of being silly when it doesn't really give you, whereas not being silly does give you things. I guess there is a valid point of just being silly because it's fun, but still. Alright, city taken, no defenders whatsoever. Yeah, Necrophagers do have problems with that. I discovered the location of two armies of Undead that for some reason are standing here, and I have no idea why. It's really kind of strange, but it does allow me to kite them possibly. Now, this city is pretty big. That's to be expected of Necrophager cities. They usually have really cities that are just sprawling with population, and this is no exception. In fact, this city, I mean, I already assigned a governor to a different city, so let's let it walk with dust for the time being. But while I can, I'll give it a Deep Generator and Wither Shadows. Why not? I mean, there's no point in not getting that right now. And this then, and see where we go. It might be the end. It might very well be the end. Necrophagers are gone, and I'm going to start besieging a new city, but I can see that the enemy is going to be able to attack me. Not a biggie, not a biggie at all. So this city apparently, it says it has no production, but it does have production, it just is backed. The display is backed, but it is producing things, so worry not. Some city is growing in population, I could care less, because it might be the final stretch before victory. So let's go ahead, assault the city. How many units are guarding is the question. It could be a lot of Undead, but if I get another powerful shot off with my own Undead, like the last battle, it would be sick. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, I kinda have a full nose, because the drug I'm taking for my allergy is working, but it's not working perfectly. But I don't want to blow my nose, because, you know, on camera it's not ideal, and I think I can not do this. Alright, my initiative will be better, so we'll get a shot of all the Undead that are close enough to the enemy, and in fact, I think this is a victory right here. I'll get a shot off, no doubt about that, and since I will get a shot off, I'll also kill the enemy instantly. Because I will be able to attack them with 3 Undead at the same time. And all those Undead will take the same amount of damage, all of them, unless I get... You know what could F me over potentially? If I were to get a critical. If I get a critical with those with my Undead, then I will not be able to kill the enemy instantly. You wanna know why? Because then the amount of damage I will deal to individual units will not be proportional to the amount of damage I deal to every unit, and possibly I'll break the chain. Either way, even if that happens, I'm still pretty certain that I'll be able to win the game. And in fact, just to make sure that I do gain those, how they call it, those chain linings off, I'll also move my units away so that I didn't kill anything just yet. So let's go ahead and lodge battle. You move back. Now, unfortunately, AI is smart enough to actually still attack, so... But it's fine, this unit might die. Even if it does die, it will not break the chain, and it didn't die, so it's still all good. Chain will be weakened, but the chain is still strong, and my other range units did not attack, so it's all good. Now my unit are going to go into town, and major damage all around. They actually did not spread to those ended for some reason, which is really strange, but it doesn't matter. Enemy is going to crumble while as I attack and finish off a big chunk of the enemy units. Those undead, they are sick. I have to say, I never considered them to be overpowered, but after seeing them now, I mean, they are so squishy, I guess, and they are so slow. It's very hard to have the chain lightning actually go off. But if it does go off, you see what is happening, right? I mean, obviously, and that do counter ended. If those were tough units, it possibly wouldn't be as devastating. But even if those were tough units, that's a lot of damage that went through to everybody at once. That's ridiculous. I mean, I am not saying to get rid of chain lightning. It is a really fun mechanic, and I'm liking it, but it is very strong as well, let's not lie about it. Alright, the enemy has lost another city. Now, is there anybody else left with any other city still left on the map? I have my doubts. I may have potentially just won the game. I do not see anybody on the map. I see a lot of green and a bit of brown and nothing else really. So I think this might officially be the end of the series. Let's press the intent button and see how it goes. Is it the end, ladies and gentlemen? Did I just win my voters series? Is it the final conclusion? It is. You are victorious. Voters have achieved the victory elimination. I don't need to continue playing. I'll just go to the score screen and show you the stats. Alright, an overall score massively ahead of everybody. Broken Lords were kinda toe-to-toe with me on many occasions, and close to it at the very least. They were doing really well, I have to say. Their spam of Undead was really scary, and if those were other units, it would possibly even kill me at one point in the game when I suddenly lost my units to the Undead. I mean, if AI was more lucky, and assimilated a different minor faction, like, let's think what they could have assimilated. Ericus. If they assimilated Ericus and had this many Ericus as they had Undead, I would be dead. I'm pretty certain. Maybe not dead, I probably would find a way to overcome this obstacle, but I will lose a lot of cities and a lot of armies to the Ericus because they are so powerful. Yes, they cost more in the street than the Undead, but the Ericus are super tanky, and they can also attack multiple units at once, and they deal a lot of damage. Yeah, scary combo. Either way, kudos to Broken Lords. They did very well defending against me, and I'm really happy they did. It's going to military. Yeah, you can see their Undead count is ridiculous at all times, and those are the two battles that changed the outcome of the game significantly, speeding up my victory, which was sick. Expansion, yeah, not much to say about that. Population, again, probably the reason why I won. Research, this is in fact really bad. I mean, voters, usually, when you play as the voters, you research right here already, you should be far ahead of the enemy, and then as you progress, you should just continue, you know, going ahead of the enemy by a mile and just have this huge technological lead. Not much else really, but just technology itself should be able to carry you forward. Right now it's everything but the technology that made it work for me. But that's because of the very unusual start to the series. If you remember, it was everything but traditional voter opening because of how the map, you know, was created. Either way, yeah, it was cool. What are my plans now? Well, it depends. If the devs gives us any precise ETA on when the official patch comes out, or when I can actually start putting videos up of the new upcoming patch. And when I want to, because I'm not going to, you know, make videos of unstable builds, of course. Either way, it could take a while, it could not. So I need to record some kind of videos before that happens, but it cannot be a very long series either. One video I have been thinking about that I'm probably, most certainly in fact, going to record, is going to be a Dungeons of the Endless video. Because Dungeons of the Endless, yeah, it has undergone several changes, especially since last time I made a video cast on this game. It has been forever. And I keep playing this game, and also strategies I think I could share, especially early game strategies, now that, you know, early game has changed significantly. I think I could do this, and I think this will be relevant even after the multiplayer upgrade multiplayer patch comes into play as well. So I think I'll do that, but this will probably be just one video and probably not much else, unless you really want me to make a series out of this, which I doubt, honestly. So what else is there? I could finish my Civilization series. It's still there, and I promise to finish it, so it's a backup. If I have no idea what else to make, I'll finish that, even though I already can foresee that my views will be very low. What else can I do? well, all the collaboration series of games there would not be a thing, because quite simply, they take too much time. I don't have the time to do them right now, and by the time I do, there will be a patch to Endless Legend out, so this is probably not going to happen. What else is there? Endless Space. We've seen that a lot on my channel. I made over, how many videos? Over 200? Yeah, way more, over 200 Endless Space videos. I will probably make some Endless Space videos at some point in the future. But A, they are time consuming, B, that would be a full-blown scale series. And that's what I said I do not want to do right now. I want to do some kind of quicker mini-series or filler series, or just a couple of individual independent videos. All of those things are a possibility. I'll be thinking about some other games that are not yet featured on my channel, but most of the games are relatively old, and not a lot of you would be interested in them most likely. I know I've done tests like this with other games in the past on my channel, and they always like get 10 views, max. It's not worth it at all, considering the fact that usually those other games require me to put quite a lot of effort to actually put them on the channel. So, I mean, two minds about what I should do next. I mean, Dungeon of the Endless video, at least one is going to come out, no doubt, no question about that. Civilization, possibly, if I do not figure out anything else. Any insight you have, any suggestions, are more than welcome. If you have any game in particular you would like to see on this channel that does not require a full-blown series, but just a couple of videos maybe, go ahead. It can be something I featured already, it can be something new that you may ask if I have or not. You know, any idea, very much some welcome right now. One thing I do need to warn you, however, I will not be able to put any video tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and possibly the day after that as well. I'll be extraordinarily busy. In fact, even right now, I should not be recording this video, guys, but I want to because I love you people. It's a hobby that is really kind of, it's addicting, let's just put it this way. Recording videos is extraordinarily fun. But either way, I shouldn't at the very least make any videos for the sake of myself in the next 3 days. So that's a little bit of a warning. If so, this and the end of the Endless videocast, which will be the next video I record most likely, do not expect it any sooner than probably Friday. Probably not later as well. Friday is probably when this videocast is going to go live. Maybe, just maybe, it will go live on Thursday, but it's highly unlikely. Don't count on it. It's possible, but unlikely. Any day before that, certainly not. There's not even a chance I'll be able to make any video. So just putting a heads up. Either way, I think this is good enough. We've been with the series long enough. I'm loving Endless Legend. I think you can tell. It's a game I have a lot of passion for, and I've been waiting and waiting for a game like this, and I think it is good. It is a hit on the channel as well. I mean, this particular series, the last two series, Broken Lords and Volters, not necessarily, the views are very low compared to the views of Wild Walkers and the Introducing video. That was to be expected because I had semi-exclusive on that. And the audience retention on my channel is really high because my channel is really unusual. Not everybody likes what I do, but it's totally fine. I just want some people to enjoy it, and if I get feedback that you enjoy my videos, even if it's like 1 or 2 of you, that's all I want, really. So either way, I still love Endless Legend, and you can expect more. What about necrophages? You ask me about them. Yes, I know you will. I want to record necrophages. They are my second favorite faction in the game after all. And there is a really good reason why they are my second favorite faction in the game. But I really want to wait until the affiliators, which are there, if you remember, they are the final unit. I'll show them. Necrophages, proliferator, yeah, it's this guy. They still don't work. I mean, they exist, but they do not have the ability implemented yet. I want to wait until it is. And I will wait, in fact, no matter what happens. I want to wait. Necrophagers deserve better, they are an amazing faction, and I want to get them some honest coverage with all their features fully implemented and working. So I will wait on that just because of how much I love this faction. Either way, I have been rambling for long enough, and oh, that's a bug. Well, I think that's a good way to end this. Alright, I think I'm messing up with the game quite a lot right now. I think it is a sign I need to end this videocast. Thank you very much for watching. If you stuck all the way through all those videos, I'm very thankful. It's really great. You are amazing. Thank you very much for watching again. Leave a like, leave a comment if you dare, because they help me out a lot. But even if you do not, thank you for just being here, and I'll see you online.